Welcome, everybody. Hello, hello. My name is Margaret Pennard. I'm a historical fiction and fantasy author, and you're on Booktube. So, welcome to my channel. I'm also an eclectic reader, which is going to become apparent if you watch any of my wrap-ups or my book tags. I'm doing a book tag today, actually, except it is not one where we talk about books. It is one where we talk about book videos. This is the Box Office Tops and Flops book tag. It was made by Heather Reads and Meg of Books Off the Beaten Path, and I saw Heather and Meg just put out another joint tag, which is fun. I was tagged by Daniela at Uncommon Reader, and her video is down in the description below if you're curious. Basically, this tag asks you to look at your own box office, find your 5 tops, your 5 flops, and then ask 2 questions about each video, including, do you think it deserved that view number, high or low? And why do you think people should watch it or not? Little stirring of the coals, a little raking of the coals of our cold hearts. So welcome to my channel. If you don't know me and you're an eclectic reader, I encourage you to subscribe. I read lots of interesting books, lots of nonfiction, lots of historical fiction, some classics, some literary fiction, lots of romance, lots of mystery, and some sci-fi fantasy. So I think I got everything in there, basically, except horror. So yeah. So welcome, everybody. I'm going to say hello to the chat since I know there's some friends here and alert you to the fact that I have a question of the day up, which is, do you have a system for archiving or organizing your Booktube content, as in everything you've done before and accessing it, like your photos, which is a fall curriculum course for me. If you know, you know. Ven's Corner. Hello, Ven. I don't know. Mr. Pixie? Elaine is here from Cobalt Dragon. Ven does not have an answer for this one, apparently. Elaine answer is, I wish, have been wanting to redo my playlist, but no clue what would be best. Yeah, it's overwhelming. I have 858 videos currently, so if I haven't been doing it all along, I don't see a time where I'm ever going to go back and reshuffle those around. So you'll see a little bit different treatment for the different videos because some are from the beginning and some are from a couple years ago. None of my recent ones have gotten very huge, so we'll see. Oh, we have a cat paw in the house. Hello. And an Alan. Good evening. And a Julie. Greetings. Just here to listen. Excellent. And a Mike from Riff Raff Reads. Hello, hello. And a Greg. Ghost Readers in the Sky. And a Jim. Hey, y'all. Jim says, I have a lot of playlists as a manner of organizing, I suppose. Yeah, me too. All right, so here's how I'm going to do this. I'm going to go through first the flops and then work my way up from the first bottom number to the fifth bottom number. And this is excluding privated videos, unlisted videos, and members only videos, just so that you can see all the ones that I'm talking about, basically. And then to be consistent, we're going to go with the fifth highest up to the first highest. So we're going to go from bottom to top. I made a little playlist to make this easy, and then I will answer the questions. For the 5 lowest views, I am going to ask, why do you think the video got as many or as few views? And can you think of a good reason why more people should watch the video? And for the highest views, I'm going to ask, why do you think this video got as many views? And do you think the video warrants as many views as it got? And warrants is an interesting term that Heather and Meg chose. So, and then after those highs and lows, or lows and highs, I'm going to go back and counter with 10 I wish had more views or think deserve more. They're in the middle. They're in the middle. But it's some of the things that I think are my best work. So I thought I would play that up since we're talking about videos and feelings about the viewership. All right. Let's see. Mike says, oh, this is the question of the day answer. I think we'll just take these as they come so that we can stay current here. Mike says, I have a folder subfolder system as I build videos with the pictures and files, etc., and a separate drive to store them once they have been loaded to YouTube. Interesting. I used to have a hard drive backup for YouTube videos because my computer couldn't handle saving them. Then I went to live streams instead of videos, and I think I abandoned that, but then I started downloading them so that I would have them in case YouTube/Google did something crazy and, like, took them all. And then I abandoned that strategy, and now I just don't save them. They're just on YouTube, and if they disappear, they disappear. Elaine says, you have private videos? Oh, now I am curious, Margaret. Yeah, some of them didn't turn out. There were technical failures, etc. So yeah, there's some privated and before a certain moment, I think. Okay, so let me share this. And as I go through each one, I will also put the link in. So you can investigate if you want from the comments. All right, so the lowest one is... Oh, I'm not going to be able to get the links for these. Let's see. You're not good. Well, yeah, I guess I will. Okay. The hemming, the hawing. Can I get the thing for this? Maybe if it's not in. There we go. Copy. It's going to be in the playlist, so I don't know if you'll be able to access it as it's a private playlist. I should just make it public. Okay, I think we're set now. So we'll just do that each time so that I can use that as my timestamp help. Okay, the first one. Now this is funny. Where's my little notebook? Here we go. Okay, here are all my notes. Can't read them, Ben. They're too small. So number 10, I guess we are counting up from the bottom 5 to the top 5. Number 10 would be from September 4th, 1920. This is one of my first videos. It is day 4 of a 30-day series of a questionnaire. So here's what's true for all 5 of the bottom ones, right? When I started in August of 2020, I think I did a couple videos, and then I launched into a 30-day video a day, 30 question questionnaire that I got from Shakespeare and Company in Paris. Shakespeare and Company in Paris is a storied bookstore, independent, English language, and they have a cafe. On the cafe placemat under your plate, there was a questionnaire that is called the Proust questionnaire. And I went through and answered each question, 30 questions for the month of September. And I tried to do a new video skill with each video. And day 4 has 14 views as of yesterday. 14 views for a 5-year-old video. This is day 4 of the September Proust Book Tag Challenge. And I can tell you what the question was. What book makes you want to live in a different era? And here's the thing about my flops, my lowest viewed videos. It's a pity. It's actually pretty unfortunate because when I started off, I thought this was a really great idea and a good way to motivate my video skills, which, as you can see, are pretty pitiful because it was very close to my heart what I was talking about. I was talking about why I went into historical fiction as an author and sharing like one of my favorite poems and reading it out loud. So it's stuff that's like really important to me, but I didn't know how to present it well. I wasn't exactly comfortable, and my editing skills were like 3% of today, right? And they're not even very good today. So it's unfortunate that the delivery mechanism coincided with the things I was most excited to talk about, right? So in this video, I didn't know how to make sunglasses with a background remover, so it's a very awful graphic. It's fine. It's fine. at this point, I had 15 subscribers about. Like, I don't have my little chart where I was mapping out my subscriber growth, but I started out at about 15 from just like previous being a YouTube watcher things. And so why does it have so few views? Because of the delivery mechanism, as I explained, and that will be true for all of these. And why you should view it. I talk about a historical fiction era that I want to be in. What book? And it's not, it may be a surprise. So that's what I'll say. Let's see. Elaine is commenting about the organization system. Great idea, Mike. I started that, but didn't keep up the system. That's the boondoggle of organizing. Yeah. Greg says, my least watched videos are primarily cowboy poetry readings. I think everyone's poetry readings are the least. So there's a greater pattern you're part of, just like woven into the loom of the world, Greg, if that makes you feel any better. Those have a dedicated, albeit small, following. Yeah. You read this. That's Ash. Hello. Brave endeavor. Kudos. Thank you. I took a very long time doing this one because I thought it would be depressing to go back and look, but I'm over it. I'm good with it now. Elaine says, my lowest are either book tags or banned books. Interesting that they're all the same category. Mine are all this book tag questionnaire from my first month. So yeah, ditto for poetry readings. And Ash has had some really great poetry readings like every day. I don't know if it's a December. No, because they started in November. So maybe it's just a channel theme. Most of the other Booktube folks I know that do poetry do it on Thursday, but Ash is an outlier. Here we go. Okay, so that is number 5. We're going to go here and go next. We're going to have ads. Sorry, everybody.
All
right. So yeah, thumbnail game. About 3%, as I said. We're gonna do copy, put that in. You'll also maybe notice that I haven't liked my own videos. I like all my own videos now, so that's a different policy that I've taken up. All right, so that is my next link for number 9 for going up the list. How to voice over myself. This is day 7 of the Proust tag. It's from September 7th, 2020. It had 15 views. Remember, I had 15 subscribers as of yesterday. Same issues and why people should watch it. Oh, well, this is the thumbnail shows the video skill that I was learning, how to do a voiceover, and I finally figured it out with iMovie. But the Proust question is here. Who is your hero in real life? Who is your hero in fiction? And for this edited video, I actually did some, I thought, pretty cool cuts in with my hero in real life. And it probably won't surprise anyone who's watching. It surprised me a little bit in the fact that it was 5 years ago that it's a person I still consider a hero in real life. And so, yeah, so I thought this was pretty good for day 7 of this challenge. And yeah, the links are going to be in the chat, going down the comments, up in numbers. So hopefully that will help without me trying to write all the titles in there. And I will say this is a mix of live and videos. Tops and Flops asks about videos, but since I do mainly live streaming now, even though the topics are video topics, I just mix them together, which meant I had to go back and forth in the analytics, which thank you, YouTube. Real appreciate it. Okay. Jim says, most of my poetry videos have low views, but some have high views, particularly when I read a poem in Georgian. A translated poem in Georgian, because I don't think I've heard you read a poem in Georgian. That's pretty cool. That's nice. All right, so that's number 9. And we're going to go to 8. Boop, another ad. No ad. All right, so we have a different intro here you can see. Isn't it cute? I mean, when you go back to your first month of doing videos, isn't it cute? Like, you can't hate. They're like watching toddlers. You can't hate them, right? Okay, so number 8 is day 15 of the Proust tag challenge. It's from September 15th, obviously, 2020. It got 16 views from my 15 subscriber base. And why did it get the views it did? This one actually opens with a terrible off-key chorus. So I did not like watching this one to see what it was like. It was a little painful. But that was just like a couple lines at the beginning. But that may have turned people off. So who knows? And why I would encourage you to watch it. Let's see. Starting with this one, I was recording all these at 5 a.m. while the wildfires were going in Portland. So if you want some commentary about being up in the dark in the fall when there are wildfires several miles away outside, it was a weird time. 2020, I think everyone can agree. It was a weird time. Yeah, so that there was that energy we were bringing. And then the question that I was answering for this one, I can scroll down here. If you could eat only one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be? I mean, you can see my answer, pain au chocolat. Like, that's a solid answer, and I talk about why. And so, yeah. And then I also went into a little bit, because this is edited, I had a little like funny, sassy banter with myself on the screen, and I was talking about aromatic trivia, herbs, spices, something else. I remember when I went over it, I was like, oh, I don't remember doing that. I must have been sleep editing. So that's fun. Moving on, we have
I've always found
day
it strange.
19.
People really want to save money, but are so
September
willing to toss their hard-earned coin into a
2020.
free.
That can't be true. So this got 19 views, and this is another 5 a.m. But as you can see from the thumbnail, I was in costume. So I thought that would like get an audience. I love talking about cosplay, talking about Ren Fair, talking about historical eras. It did not. And so I talk a little bit about hiding in the past. What's your favorite hiding place? I mean, I got really creative here with the question. So, like I said, I was pretty proud of these answers and, not production value, obviously, looking at the blurriness of all my images, but, editing and deep reflection, let's say. So that's why I would advocate watching this. Let's see. I saw Gareth come in. Hello, Gareth. I'm working my way up from the flops to the tops from 10 to 1. So you're catching me at the end of the flops. No, you can't hate them. You can't hate them. I mean, I do give off a witchy vibe, but I do not eat children, Greg. Thank you for clarifying. Mike says, this is such a fun idea. I'm hooked. I'm busy sorting my view numbers while watching. My one attempt at Poetry Thursday is my lowest view count of all. Okay, interesting. Oh, okay. In preparing for this took a lot of analytics work. And so I think I may have forgotten to find people to tag that haven't done it. So this is my one time I'm going to take the opportunity and say, if you're watching this and you haven't done it yet, please feel free to consider yourself tagged. And when you do your version, tag me so that I can watch it and I can see if we had any similarities. Elaine says, other than my first video with Panther, I've deleted a few of my first videos. Yeah, talking about private. I just privated them instead of taking them down. Because if I took them down, then I'd feel that I had to save them somewhere. The point made earlier. Gareth says, filters feel like a good idea at the time, but are never great. I think you're talking about my pink one from the last video. Yeah, I did a video recently that looks terrible. Haha, pain au chocolat is awesome though. Yeah, the question is a good question. If you had to eat one food for the rest of your life, like, yeah. Awesome costume. Thank you. Jim says, I had a video in Englishman Reads a Georgian poem in Georgian, which got 863 views, far more than poetry usually gets. Oh, yeah. And I think, Jim, if you've done this before, because I think I've seen lots of versions of this from my friends, my subscriptions. And I think Jim had a lot over 1,000, if I recall correctly. And I have one over 1,000. So having started at the same time in the same cohort, very different results. Garrett says, when I did it, I spoke very quickly about the flops. Lol, so many. Yeah. Yeah, me too. Me too. All right, so final one is my number 5, I guess, or 6 on the list of 10. It was the day 16, and I'll skip forward for that. Day 16.
Know someone who wakes up at every little noise? Here's the perfect gift for them. Loop earplug.
Another filter, another open, another show, as they say. So this had 20 views as of yesterday, and it aired on September 16th, 2020. And again, these are all videos, not live streams, as I've switched to doing. The proofs question on this one was, which poem made your spine tingle? And so this is actually great for this group that does poetry readings. I do not do regular poetry readings, and perhaps it is because this one didn't get any attention, you know, and I felt like I really sort of fell down on the delivery. Of course, I'm comparing myself to John David Hanna, which is not very nice to do because his delivery was amazing. And if you know which poem I'm talking about, that is a spine tingler, drop it in the comments. Yeah, so a poem that made your spine tingle, and I tried to deliver it, and I think I just got emotional because it's such a poem close to my heart. But yeah, someone else did it really well, and that's what inspired me. So poem reading. That's why I would encourage people to view this if they are poetry, I should say, aficionados. Okay, so those are the bottom 5, the flops, and I'm okay talking about them. They're all for my first month. They're all videos. They're all me learning video skills, and they didn't reach any farther than my subscription base. So I haven't gone back to them. This is why I'm curious about people with an organization system for videos, because having 858 videos, I no longer have in my mind, oh, I read that poem. I can take that out for Poetry Appreciation Day or something like that. Whereas if I had a, swatch board, Kanban board, whatever it was, with like, here are these things, here are these things. I have tags, but you don't know what you do for tags, And if you have only a few poem readings, like, does it really merit a playlist where it's going to be at the top because you updated it the most recent? Anyway, all these annoying things. So let's talk organization maybe in another live stream. I'll take that down. I'll put this up just so people have a little reminder. Okay. The next one, we get into the tops here, the happy times.
It should be pretty easy to find.
Oh, and it's picking up where I left off when I did my... Oh, and I was going to say something to Mike. So Mike does this thing in Riff Raff's Reading Renaissance. I did it your way. Where he has the thumbnail on the screen behind him. So when people see the thumbnail and click, they don't immediately go into something different. They actually see the thumbnail to confirm what they were looking at. And I think that's a nice intro. And I did that for my first few videos, and then I stopped doing it. So it obviously didn't work back then in terms of any view boosting potential. But I really like how Mike does that. So maybe I should bring it back. I don't know. Anyone else think that's worth doing? So this one is number 5. It's going to be my May of the Moderns Pile of Possibilities video, and it was done as a live stream. It aired on April 15th, 2022, 3.5 years ago. It has 465 views. So 465 is in the top 5 for me. Why do I think it got so many views? Because it's hosting a readathon. I thought that hosting a readathon would be a good way to get exposure, and it would be a good connection to something that I have some experience with, classics and literature. And since I wasn't in the Victober Club, it would be a way that I could do some of that work. So I followed on after Victober, and I did May of the Moderns, or first it was March of the Moderns. And this was a month-long readathon where people could read classics from the end of the Victorian era, 1901 to 1945, which is, I think, when most people would consider things to be more postmodern. So pretty big swatch for people to choose from. And I did have lots of people participating and excited about it. I did it for 3 years. And then I was sort of having trouble finding new modern books that I liked. And I thought, okay, I think I've gotten all I can out of this experience. We're going to let it go. So that is my May of the Moderns experience. While it had 465 views, I will just note that it had 40 comments. And I think comments are a really good indicator of engagement and like interest. Views, not necessarily. So while it may get you exposure, it's not getting you like time with people, which is what I am on here for. A little bit like in my mind, thinking about how I could have done better. I didn't put timestamps on this. When I'm doing a readathon, there's so many things to fix, to do, to plan, to prepare, to communicate with. I did not go back after all these live streams to do timestamps for people. And Leslie pointed out recently that that's a big thing that she does all the time. So now I'm starting to do it again. I note that I held up books rather than screen sharing as I'm doing today. Maybe that has an effect. I don't know. That means that people actually watch through. So that's more about watch time than it is views. So I think the reason that it has so many views is really that it's the host of the readathon, and it's probably one of the videos that people use to point back and say, it's this readathon. And so people would like watch the first little bit to get a sense of if they wanted to participate. So, and is it worth it? Does it warrant all those views? And I would say yes, because it was a lot of freaking work. And no one ever like co-hosted, asked if they could help. And so yeah, that's why I sort of set it down after a while, because I was trying to constantly figure out new things and original things and giveaways and highlighting other people doing videos, playlists and whatnot. And it didn't seem to gain traction. So after 3 years, I was like, okay, I'm going to try something else, because that's what we do here. We experiment. All right, I'm going to get back to the, oh, did I forget to do the links? When did I do the last link, and which do I need to catch up on? DPF1U. Am I going to be able to do this? Maybe not. Can someone tell me how many links I put in and then tell me which ones I need to replace? Because I have a lot of chat to look through. And then I will get it in order, because I don't want to repeat. And I don't want to like make you look at all this stuff while I'm trying to get the links for you guys. So let me come back to the chat and see if anyone can help me out here. So Greg, here we are. This is where we left off. Another opening, another show is from Kiss Me Kate. Yay! Shakespeare retelling. Thank you for getting that. Elaine says, LOL, if I get 50 views, I am over the moon. It rarely happens, but nice when it does. And now that's 10% of your subscriber base, since you're over 500. Jim says, when I put slideshows of my thumbnails, they didn't get a lot of views. Oh yeah, I remember you doing that. Probably because people have already seen the content and they think they don't need to see it again. Cat Paw says, I'm always surprised if mine get views or comments, since I don't promote, etc., and don't consider myself a channel. I did film a few, but never got around to edit or upload. Yeah. You put a lot of effort into commenting. So your presence is definitely felt in other ways. Like, just make sure you know that. Laura says, stop all the clocks. Yes. It's called Funeral Blues by W.H. Auden. Thank you, Laura, for knowing the 4 weddings and a funeral reference. Hi, Eva. Eva got here early and arrived late. Back again. Oh, I get it. I do that too. Organization system for videos. Eva says, nope. Julie says, stop all the clocks. Yeah, there we go. That's the poem I was reading. Mike says, the catch with the thumbnail on screen is that you have to do the thumbnail before you film the video, which can limit your ability to ramble, which could be good or bad. And see, you're thinking of a video, and I already have to do my thumbnails before the video because my video is a live stream. So in order to go up and have an event that isn't just the channel graphic, I have to load the thumbnail before I live stream, just like today. So I'm already ahead of the game is what you're telling me. Excellent. Eva says, change the thumbnail. 2 different audiences are the target. I'm not sure which that is referring to because it's 4 minutes ago. So help me out here, Eva. Eloise's answer is nope, I'm a chaotic mess. Also, hi, Eloise. Eva makes note to comment on all of Margaret's lives, even though I am in the comments off topic enough already. You do comment on all the lives, so I'm not sure what that is about. Oh, because I said comments are an indication of engagement. Yeah. You are an indication of engagement, Eva. Question, are you doing May of the Moderns again in 26? No, I've let it go. I didn't do it this year, and I'm not coming back to it. But all the old videos are there, and they will come up. They will not come up later, actually, but you can always see my May of the Moderns playlist, which includes both my videos on May of the Moderns and tagged things, as well as others who participated in the Readathon, which I thought would help others as well. Greg says, my video with the highest number of views is also a reading event video, the announcement for Private Eye July. See, you're going to see this later. Hosting an event and doing all the work does get you a lot of views because people are seeing if they want to participate, if it's getting engagement, if it's something that they have on their shelves, etc. So fair enough. Elaine says, views are just people who clicked, not watched through. True. Comments show interaction and what I am always striving for. Yes, exactly. Last link was day 15 and dreaming of pain au chocolat. Okay. Thank you, Julie. I know you said you were just coming to listen, but you're also helping me out here. So let me grab the link for the last 2 of the flops and put those in there so they're in the right order. Hiding places. So I'll do hiding places is that one. And then spine tingler. Grab that share link and pop that in there next. Okay. All right. And then the one we're on is Pile of Possibilities from 2022. So I will copy that and share that. And we'll keep climbing up our Jack and the Beanstalk list of 10. Thank you, Julie. All right. Eva says, my first video has the highest at 65 views. Well, you said you did some videos early, and then I didn't ever see those because I think it was before I was on. And then like your most recent, when you knew all the people got high views at 65, which is great. Elaine says, hi, Eva. Same about comment after lives. Oh, maybe it's the difference between commenting when you're live and commenting after. Maybe I didn't catch that. Jim says, my most viewed video isn't about books. It's about Matchbox. I remember that. And Hot Wheels cars, over 7,000 views. Yeah, that's crazy. But so I'm considering views and lives. Were you considering videos, lives, and shorts? None of my shorts went big enough, but I think you might have some shorts that went really big. And I don't know if you're including those or what. They also have a separate analytics dashboard count. Thanks, YouTube. Cat Paw says, no, Eva says, to Cat Paw, cough, get around to it, cough. All right. Elaine says, my 2 highest are cat videos, Memorial to Sweet Pea and Tiki Forever Home. Oh, that's a good one. Okay, can I show this? This is like bad YouTube etiquette, but I'm gonna like show the behind the scenes here. There's the ring light and there's the bean. You see, he's on a little lifted part of the desk and it's got a blanket and he's sort of like spilling over it, looking at me right now with his arm out, which I love when he does that. He's so cute, is my bean. My bean is so cute. Yeah, cat videos. Eva says, I only have 4 videos up. 3 or 4? I think 4. All right. You have way more TikTok videos. I had a stretch of time where I was taking TikTok videos and turning them into YouTube shorts. Jim was much better at this. I was trying to follow Jim's example and do shorts, but I just could not keep up and do it on the phone with TikTok and edit on the phone. And then I was just like, this is too much. Too much. Elaine says, wow, Jim, congratulations. That is awesome. Gareth says, now I'm better at doing thumbnails. I do them first because it gets me excited about doing the video, which is weird, I know. Well, that's not weird. Solid strategy, right? Mike, that's what Mike does. And so, yeah, I think that might be a good idea. Well done. Eva says, with the target audience, change the thumbnail comment. I was saying a thumbnail before the live and after the live for those who go back to replay. Oh, it's not the same audience, but there's crossover. Ooh, that's a really good point. I'm going to star this one. I might never come back to it, but hopefully starring it will make my brain remember it. You know, it would be an easy way to do this without resorting to the AI behind YouTube is that sometimes you can take a screenshot, not a literal screenshot, but they give you 3 possible thumbnails from the live stream, and you can use one of those as the thumbnail for after. I might just try this. Thank you, Eva. That's a really cool idea. Eva says comments versus chats. Yeah. I'm going to comment in addition to my chats. Oh, I see. Superstar. All right. Someone's showing off that they're a superstar. Eva says, this is the page I'm on. Sorry, always on a different page than Margaret. Funny. Okay, so my links. Julie is our heroine. Thank you, Julie. Heroine, shoot, hero. Yeah, we know what you mean. She says, excuse my spelling. English is my first and only language. You're funny. Hi, Andy. Hello. Mike says, timestamps are strategically important to give people the option to jump forward rather than away from the whole video if they are bored. Very good insight. Yes. Yeah, I know. So the process for me would then be thumbnail, set up event, do the live stream, come back to push the monetize button, change the thumbnail, add the card, add the end screen, and do the timestamping. So I'd add one more step. It's quite a process. Yeah, it's quite a process. Greg says, I only come to the chat so I can side conversation with Jenny and Brian and others. Maybe I should start a side chat with Garrett today. Gareth has opinions about that. Eva says, I did shorts with this channel, but never long videos. Oh, okay. All right. So I'm getting confused with the different profiles that Eva has. Poetic POV is my writing books channel. Got it. And has 4 videos up. It's new. Okay. Gotcha. Good point. Jim is not including shorts. Oh, wow. Okay. So the Matchbox video is a video. It has over 7,000 views. That's amazing. Eva says, my cleaning channel has more views, but I'm not consistent enough there either. Only 5 videos. Shorts get way more on all the channels. Yeah, because they promote them. So it really has nothing to do with us. Oh, we're getting to the cat appearance. Yes, cat cameo. Bean, heart eyes. Catpaw says, is it possible to download shorts from Insta and upload to the tube? Yes, you can, not shorts, but Instagram Reels. You can download and upload, and then you have to you have to do all the settings for YouTube to make it a short on YouTube. I think that's what you meant. Eva says, yeah, I did that to TikTok into shorts, but that was before the veil lifted and I saw how the algorithms work. This channel is useless for content creation. So you have one channel for chats and one channel for creation. Is that how it's boiled down? Interesting. Find me on EVTN on platforms where I overshare. We love it. You could make one thumbnail template with just your face and room for the title and change the title with every live thumbnail. For before, you're saying for the set up the event. That's true. I kind of have fun. It's it doesn't normally take me a long time, and I kind of have fun doing different thumbnails. I have a few different templates, maybe like a dozen that I'm using at this point, for tags, for wrap-ups, for author updates, for other themed things. I don't know if people notice, but it's sort of a template, and then I sort of just switch things out, like I used to do for the First Friday and Final Friday. Same template, changes every few months. Eva says, timestamps are fun to put in comments too. All you have to do is type the time as a comment, then future viewers get curious. That's diabolical, Eva. All right, so I have the setting on my end for my channel to display the timestamps for the chat, if that is what you're sort of being funny about. I really appreciate that because it helps me when I'm looking in my chat, but I think it also helps other people to find chat while they're chatting with people. Oh, it's the one at 10:19 or whatever. So yeah, I always think that's better for people. That's how I think when I do it. I've never seen you do this. Gareth says, yeah, I would feel guilty. Send me a message later, mate. Yeah, the side conversations. I picked up on that, Gareth. All right, so Cat Paw says, I've noticed a trend, and that is to ask for money before the video. What? Nothing makes me unsubscribe faster. And peeps, we all know how the like sub bell works by now. Climbs down off the soapbox. Oh, man. Okay, so here's a funny thing. I was watching a Crooked Media podcast. We're getting a little off topic, but it's flowing with the chat, so I'm good with it. The Crooked Media podcast was doing a check-in with the South Park saga teasing. It finally got on to Pete Hegseth, and so they were talking about how South Park portrays Pete Hegseth, this defense secretary, and they portray him. The joke about him is that he's always filming content, so he's talking about war things, and then he says, like and subscribe. Like, it's funny because it's true. But then when the Crooked Media talked about it, they were like, yeah, it's so terrible, but also like and subscribe to the channel, guys. Which I thought was funny. They made it funny, you know, like I can stand a little bit of meta self-deprecating humor. So Gary says your thumbnails are a lot of fun, Margaret. Oh, thank you. I think I'm definitely like too much on the thumbnail. I think when I talk to other people who are good at this stuff, they were like, oh, it needs to be more simple. It needs to have fewer elements to break through. And I was like, okay. And then I would try it for a couple, and then it would go back to like, I like all the things. So it's just me coming out. So that's my authenticity. Kappa agrees. Thank you. You guys are sweet. Eva says, I'm going to go do this right now on a video. BRB. Okay. Mike says, talking of things to put in comments, the best advice I've heard from Kelly, books I'm not reading, is to encourage viewers just to leave an emoji. Yeah, I like that too. I noticed people have done that, and I like when people leave one. They usually do it in the last few minutes, and so it's just for the people who have stayed and watched through. And then when people see emojis in the comments, they get curious, and then, you know, they might watch more. So I think it's good. I think it's one of those curiosity gap things that is actually innocuous, like not nefarious, let's say. The algorithm treats it the same as engagement. Yeah, good insight. Eloise, the way I snorted when you said like and subscribe, because I can't sing it any other way. Elaine says, same with the money deal. I stopped saying subscribe in my videos months ago. Hasn't made a difference in my subs. Still new folks find me. Yeah. Back. Oh, okay. Eloise loves thumbnails. You guys are so nice. Thank you. Jim says, I experimented and put up a 1-minute review of Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. Creeps in this petty pace from day to day. As a short and as a regular video, the short got 758 views and 5.6 hours watch time. Is that more than the regular video? I'm guessing. The regular video got 575, 5.8. Wait, that's less. The video got more than the short. That's crazy. That's interesting. That's very interesting. I wish I knew how to like crack that open more. Mike says, not money, but you need to ask for subscriptions early on, as most viewers don't last to the end. When I always ask once I've hopefully earned it. Okay. Yeah, clarification. Gareth says, that's great. Like and subscribe. It's like the cartoon of a funeral, and one of the guys is by the grave saying, it might not be the right time, but I've got a gig next Monday if anyone is free. Yeah, I mean, what we're joking about here, the greater truth is that promoting yourself is very uncomfortable. And yet we're in a medium where if we want to reach an audience, we have to promote ourselves. And so we joke about it to feel better and, you know, talk to other people to feel better about it, because everyone has the same discomfort. Some more, some less. Some of us like have gotten over it because we're indie authors. So yeah, it's rough out there, folks. Jim says, I wonder how to reply to an emoji. Oh, good question. Commenters will definitely be able to answer this. I would just reply with an emoji. Eloise says, I think I'm going to tell people not to subscribe. Use reverse psychology. Oh boy. Yeah, you can't go wrong there because they're not subscribed already. Eva says, tell your audience the thing that would make you subscribe to yourself if you weren't yourself. Getting very tricky, very tricksy here. Laura's laughing. Cat Paw's laughing. I think that may be their response to respond to an emoji. Elaine says, I have been tempted to try that and see if I gain or lose viewers. Yeah. And Greg said, did I go in the right order here? I love react is plenty for a reply to an emoji. Oh, yeah. Okay. So Eva is saying you don't have to reply. You can just press the heart, which the channel host can do only. Yeah. Greg says, I never watch shorts. That may be because I'm a geriatric Gen Xer. You're in good company here, boy. Mike says, the secret lesson from Coke's marketing director is that the biggest mistake people make is that they don't ask people to buy the product. I think I remember you, if it was you saying that, someone said that recently, is not asking to sell or to buy rather on the other end. Whew. Okay. Wow. Big tangent. We're still on number 5. And I think I gave the information about this one. So we will move on to number 4, which is a super oldie. Yeah. I don't know if anyone here has seen this actually. So let's reveal it.
Your goddess has no dominion here.
Okay. So MargaretPenard.com says hello. This is number 4 at 492 views. This aired on July 2nd, 2014, and it is a video, not a live. So I meant this to be a trailer for my new website. So Margaret lore, eons ago, I had a tastelifetwice.com website, and then I transferred all that and made it margaretpenard.com because it just makes more sense. And so once I had that kitted out and it looked really pretty and it looked good, not the state of it now, I shared it on the YouTube channel, which I had in 2014. It's not a Booktube channel. It was just an outgrowth, an outpost of the empire, if you will. So, yeah, let's see. HELLO. This one has 16 comments. And let's see, they're from Stargator, Life with Misty, Felicia, Mr. Vlandis, Gareth. Gareth's very recent, though. It was only 8 months ago, so he must have gone looking for something. JD, some very familiar faces. Marilyn. Yes. Okay. So I don't know. Did it work as a channel intro? A mixed bag, right? Looking at the comments and the views. I would say it got this many views because it's pretty professional looking. I actually had a friend who's a videographer do this filming for me. So like it has an actual intro. It looks like a vlog. I'm in my apartment like doing work and outside. So yeah, it's got the look, right? Hi. But it's very not me, not really my style. So maybe it's not a great channel trailer, is the lesson here for me. And did it warrant the views? I would say, nah, it's outdated. I should really do a new channel trailer that isn't a website trailer, you know? So, meh, this is one of those I should. But yeah, this is something that I like, what's it called? Bartered for my friend. And, you know, it worked well at the time. So let's see, catch up on chat. Yes, it was me. Okay, so you did talk about the mistake. Yeah. Hi, Emma. Your friend Laura and Eloise are here. So we're talking. We're not talking trash, actually. We're on the top 5 since we've already done the flops, the tops of the channel. Gareth says, I'm always tickled by Dr. Pepper's catchphrase. What's the worst that could happen? Funny. 8 months recent. I can't remember what I did this afternoon. Well, the video was put out in 2014, my friend. So 8 months, 2025 is recent compared to when it was released. Does a comment help more than likes? I'm going to leave that for the comment section, the peanut gallery. I'm not sure. In terms of my priorities, I think comments are more valuable because they show that you're watching. I think Jim was kind of implying that as well. So yeah, there's views, there's likes, there's comments. YouTube is giving us all this extraneous information when what I really feel and register is like, how many people am I talking to? How many people are, registering that they heard what I said, basically. Oh, hold on. I forgot to take my allergy pill last night. So we're congested this morning. Eva says, oh, that's cute. The intro. Yeah. Old material. Apparently comments help YouTube think it's a good video. All right. So one more vote for my impression. Authentic engagement helps most. If you aren't commenting naturally, that comment may help a channel less or more, depending on how often you do comment on what content. Okay. Very tricky answer. Yeah. Probably very true. Greg says, I'm withholding all of my potential chat messages that are rated for mature audiences only. I appreciate that, Greg. We don't censor on this channel, but I do appreciate that because I will just note people who have left chat messages for mature audiences only have been blocked from the channel and their wrench privileges have been revoked. Just ask people. Eva says, I'm guessing and could be wrong. It sounds right to me, though. It sounds right to me. Elaine says, comments tell YouTube people are engaging with your content, and so push it out to more viewers. In theory. But that's how I see the algorithm. It's algorithm. It's for you, the viewer, never the host. Not ever the host. Always the bridesmaid. That makes sense. Yeah. Mike says, I believe likes determine what the viewer is fed next, but comments indicate engagement, which boosts the video and the algorithm pushes it harder. What the viewer is fed next. So maybe, are you talking about if you have an end screen with best for viewer, if they liked it, it will influence that choice that YouTube makes? I don't know. I never click on the videos that come up after a video ends. If I do, it is accidentally because I'm trying to pause the video so I can finish my comment. That's what happens to me. So I do the end screen for folks now, but I don't know how many other people act like me. Jim says, I ask for comments more than anything. Yeah. It's real natural. You slip it right in. It's very, very, what's that called? Embedded. I don't think of the word right now. Eloise says, golly, it sure would be nice if someone had a friend on the inside. Melting, right? Eva says, they use an algorithm to keep you here and engaging in the ads. True. Eloise says, Margaret says that as she pops up my comment, don't block me. I behave unlike some other people I know. Exactly. You know who I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about. Kevin's laughing. Likes are about the viewer. Okay. So here's what I think this is true. And here's how I can frame it for folks, maybe, that if you like a video, it influences the algorithm's recommendations to you, the viewer. It does not really show up in any sort of tally form to indicate better or less results for the channel that is liked. I think if that is restating it correctly. Interesting. So every video I watch, I automatically like. The first thing I do as the video starts is I like it. and I unsave it from my watch later list, because my filter, my funnel is that I put everything I want to watch, almost everything, on my watch later list, and then sort of skip around as to what is the most immediate or time sensitive ones to view. And then I take it off that list. I like and unsave. And yeah, I thought that helped, but apparently it's just telling YouTube that something they already know. If I watched it and I liked it, I feel like I'm giving them the same information. Sometimes I have to unlike it, but not often. Not often. Eva says the content those in your household engage with will impact yours too. Interesting. The eyes of Google. The algorithm is alive and it's everywhere. Yeah. Gareth says, I think quite hard about what the end screen video is, just in case. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how other people use it. That's why I made that tag with Beth Ann about how do you YouTube, how do you booktube, and didn't get much traction. It was really helpful at the time. Other people have come on with different tags about like back scenes interaction. Basically, we're trying to get information about how other people act to see if it's the same way that we perceive. And what's weird is that you find out other people do way different things. Like there's all these tools and we all use them differently, which is really kind of fun to see. So yeah. And Mike, if you're curious, it's a little old and outdated now, but I do have a playlist for the How Do You Booktube tag if you want to look at my playlist. Bagara says, although I filmed 2 recent ones and let YouTube pick the end screen. Okay. Yeah, says Eloise. My kid screws up my algorithm a whole bunch with his Minecraft videos. See, that's when you got to get different profiles. Hate comments are so common. Some videos probably have many more downvotes than upvotes, but crazy high comments. Okay. So here's another good insight is that they hid how many thumbs down a video gets, but I think it still registers because it's telling the YouTube algorithm that the viewer doesn't want those anymore. But if you downvote it because you hate it, and then you also leave a comment that's like hate comments, YouTube does the absolute value. And so the hate comment will actually help boost the channel because engagement is engagement as far as they're concerned. Jim says, my Wednesday video is what are you reading Wednesday? Not you Wednesday. So you've got a very reliable opening there. 29th one went up today. It's literally asking for comments. That's true. That's true. Yeah. It's very clever. Eva says, and those people will keep getting the content because they engage with it so authentically. Rage bait works whether you meant them to rage or not. Facts. Greg says, I too always make end screens, but I very rarely follow end screen links on the videos I watch. Jim doesn't use the watch later list. See? The chaos. How do you handle the chaos, Jim? Gareth says, I've got a question video coming up in January, but I'm aware that it could just stay there with no comments, meaning like you ask people, yeah, what are you reading, for example? Jim says, this household watches a lot of Roblox videos. I share a flat with little people. Exactly. Mike says, my end screen is always 3 choices. 1, playlist of all my videos. Oh, I don't have one of those. That's interesting. 2, most recent. Okay. And 3, the YouTube recommended best for viewer. Interesting. See, I do a subscribe first and I time it so that subscribe pops up first because I think that's the one most likely to be clicked on, even though it is right below. I mean, my parents can't find something that's right below, so I don't assume people can. I put it on the screen that they're looking at. Louis says it's listening, which is why I go whisper things about chickens and books and therapy around my husband's phone. So he gets more of that. Clever. Very crafty. A downvote doesn't tell YouTube a viewer doesn't like something unless that viewer only downvotes things they never want to see again. Okay, interesting. I'm not sure I understand the difference, but yeah, I don't downvote like anything. So I don't think people downvote my videos either. I very rarely get something that's not a thumbs up. Gareth says, I try to link the end video to the audience that was just watching that video. Similar theme. Yeah, I do a subscribe, a playlist that's relevant. So if it's a wrap up, the wrap up playlist, if it's a book tag, the book tag playlist, and best for viewer. So those are my 3 things. See, we've all got different back pocket defaults. It's so funny. It knows viewers vary. Yeah, Eva's got the line on it. Mike says the algorithm doesn't distinguish between positive and negative reaction, just engagement. For the channel whose video it is, are you saying that's also the same for the viewer effect? Like it doesn't affect the viewer's recommendations? I think that's more what Eva was trying to say. Maybe not. I'm getting lost in the weeds here. I'm going to try to do the last 4 videos and finish the chat really fast and then get back to the 4 videos because I have another whole 10 recommendations I wanted to get to, which may take another hour the way we're hotting up this topic. My goodness. So Greg says, I use 2 spaces in my end screens, one to a playlist which I choose, the other is to the best for viewer. Okay, so that's similar to the way I do mine. The hosts know if their viewers like their content or hate their content, but their views can be high or low either way. That is true. Exhibit A. Indifference is what kills a channel. Yes, that is the fact. And that's why I labeled this title, What Do You Love? What Do You Ignore? Or something. I can't remember what I put in the first line, but something like that. Mike says, I also do subscribe first, then the 3 choices. Okay, so you're allowed 4. Nice. Elaine says, I started using much later months ago as channels I follow growing, only way to keep up. Oh, that's right. Okay, so if you are you using that exclusively for those? I didn't realize that. Okay. Laura says, I think I've only downvoted for bad AI narration. Why are you watching those anyway? Yeah, I get it. I get it. Mike, for the creator, negative reaction is a plus. Okay, that makes sense because it's the absolute value. Okay, got it. Good. Another hour of Margaret. Oh man. Okay, so be sure to tap that react button. Elaine says, I let YouTube pick the end videos. They know viewers' history and interests. Okay, I'm gonna pause here and go to the next video. We have 3 more. So after the channel trailer, you'll see a common theme. Readathons. So my number 3 top video.
How to live a rom-com on Airbnb. Start with an A-frame.
Adorable.
Then book a romantic experience at this one, where you'll build
and cruelties. Herkyed. Planning my hardest reading challenge strategy. So I saw other people doing this and it turned out to be a really big exposure video for me. The thumbnail is really big font and rainbow. I was sort of copying QWordy's own design with me and a different background, right? Because it had worked very well. Again, readathons are a lot of work and she did a shit ton of work for this readathon. So much luck to her. I can't participate in it anymore. Like, I don't like failing. So tried it once. We're good. So if you don't know, HRCYED stands for Hardest Reading Challenge You Will Ever Do. And it's something QWordy channel started last year, the inaugural year. And I thought, okay, if ever I'm going to do this really hard challenge, it'll be this year. And I came within shouting distance. I did do a video on like the last few prompts that I didn't get to, but I got to like 82 out of 111. I don't even remember the numbers anymore. It's crazy hard. And I did a good job. I just didn't complete it, which is fair. This has 496 views. It aired on July 21st, 2024, so a year and a half ago. It was a live stream. Okay. And here's something, Mike, I don't know why. When I was sorting by highest views in my analytics, 496 was below a 465 or something like that. And I was like, why? Why are we not sorting? Why are we not mathing? It's out of order. And so my notes are a little screwy because of it. And I was just annoyed. Anyway, I have no way to figure those things out. So no timestamps. It is added onto 2 playlists. So that's one of the optimization things I do. Again, I showed books instead of doing a screen share. This one got 25 comments. And why did it get all the views? Because it's about a readathon that was really popular, because it had a very clear and recognizable thumbnail. And I think those are the biggest two things. And did it warrant all the views, the 496 views? And I would say yes, because that stinking readathon was a lot of work to even participate in, let alone organize. Yeah, I had sheets of paper, I had lists on my phone, I had lists in this notebook, like yeah, I really tried, and I still didn't make it. So yeah, a lot of people are doing HerKid too, second year, and I applaud them. I just don't have the heart to fail again. I do like the HerKid readathon in that it encourages people to do the areas of interest that QWORD is trying to promote, which is indie authors, which is Spiffbo, and this fantasy one authors, which is LGBTQ reads. And I think there might have been another area of focus. But those are the things like I really want to support creators that are creators, not content creators, I should say, authors of works that are in marginalized communities. And the ones she's highlighting are her pet causes, which is great. I have different pet causes. One of the ones that I have continued with is the Black Author Tuber Readathon, of which more anon in the second hour. And if you have to pause and come back, I totally understand. I may actually have to do that. I haven't had anything to drink. Tea is cold, confirmed. Okay. So yeah, so HerKid is my number 3. And I don't think I have any more to say about that. Let's catch up with the chat because I'm sure there's going to be HerKid commentary. 2 spaces. Where did I leave off? Indifference. What's the opposite of hate? What's the opposite of war? I can't remember the line from Rent. There's a line from Rent that says, it's creation. Woo! The opposite of war isn't peace. It's creation. Woo! There we go. Rent reference for the win. I think we ended here. Sorry, I think this is where we are. Eva says, I'm indifferent of all creators until I'm not. Nothing makes me indifferent. You don't have a turn off? Laura says, I see a cute cats compilation. I watch. Sometimes they are AI narrated. Gotcha. Yeah, I've been sucked into some of those. They're hard. Don't forget to boop the like button, says Jim, or the reaction button. Either way, it's gravy. Eva says, I got as far as writing it down on a list. Fair. HerKid too. Oh, I love that energy. Well done. Mike says, I also found that it can't do math. The order was wrong, right? And there's no, like, I can't figure out why it doesn't. It's the simplest thing. It's sorting by a column. Like it's a spreadsheet. Even I can do that in Excel. Eloise doesn't need to help me, and she's the expert. So frustrating. Oh, Eva has a contender. Is it unique views versus all views? They don't give us both. So why would they have one column be 2 different stats? Yeah, good try. I don't think that is the answer. Sounds like skiing for me. I did it once. I'm good, as I got stuck on the baby hill, then almost tumbled down a big hill. Oh boy. Be safe. Be safe. Intermission. Do I have an intermission? I could look up my I could look up one of my AWC intros and just play it on a loop and share that screen and have an intermission. Or I could just share a screen that says intermission. That would be funny. The opposite of creation is destruction. I was trying to think of the Rent line. But yeah, I like the idea. So yeah, similar idea. Turn off would either make me a hater or keep me at indifferent where I started. Oh, okay. All right. So we're getting input here. Insights into Eva. I'm turned off by arrogance in life and on Booktube. Same. Leslie just said the same thing. It was Leslie in her recent video. So yeah. I heard the magic word. Spreadsheets. Okay. Number 2. Are we ready for number 2? Did I put the link for this? Did I put the link for any of these? Jesus Christ. I did number 5. Did I do number 4? I don't think I did because the chat got too hot. So let me just go back and get number 4. Pile of possibilities, which is hello, in case anyone wants to see this. I doubt it. 4, and then number 3. And then number 2. I'll just grab it and put it now so I don't forget. And you can probably see what is number 1 there, but please don't peek so that you get ahead of me in the chat. That would make it very difficult to keep track. Okay, so Herkiad, we're on to number 2.
Let's go, boys. One thing I've noticed about football fans is they all talk like the players can actually...
Yes, only one ad. Yay! Okay, so here we are. Number 2 is the May of the Moderns announcement. So just like Greg was talking about Private Eye July, I found my number 2 viewed video to be the announcement for the May of the Moderns readathon in its second year in 2022. So this got 504 views. It aired on March 22nd, 2022. It was a live stream. It had 504 views and 69 comments. Keep those thoughts to yourself, everybody. Okay. Why do I think it got so many views? I was hosting the readathon, and so it was probably used as a reference video. So a lot of people, if they wanted to participate, would link it, and that spread the word, which is great. I also, at this point, had a $10 a month StreamYard subscription, which is why I had a cool layout background and I could do cool things. I no longer have that because it jumped from $10 to $45 a month. And if you're not making any money on it, then you cannot pay $45 a month as an indie author. So the cool StreamYard stuff probably helped the viewer experience. I shared the Storygraph screen. So before, when I was holding up books, I thought that might be a draw. This one, I shared the screen to talk about Storygraph stuff. In terms of the readathon requirements, I made it a readathon on Storygraph so that people could participate on Storygraph. So maybe that was good. I pinned a question at the top. That's one of the optimization things that I was doing for other people that I saw was listed as a helpful engagement tactic. I don't know if it helped. I don't do it for my own videos anymore. And lots of comments. So again, I think being a readathon host is a big deal. It got a lot of comments, which meant a lot of people were interested. So I think that is the real root. Do I think it warranted? And again, yes, it's a lot of heckin' work. So same thing for the pile of possibilities. It was the same year, so I'm not sure why 2 videos the same year did so well. The ones from 2023's version, again, it kind of went like this. And so I thought I'm not growing with it, and that's why I let it go. So let me catch up with the chat. Okay, going to grab my popcorn. Yeah, Eloise, it jumped to 45, and now what I'm seeing as a 50% off offer from StreamYard is like $45 a month for paying for the whole year. So I think it's just gotten worse. They have added features, and they are aggressively advertising. You have to go through a stupid screen that has like the new features every time. It's really aggravating. It's really an enshittification process rather, since the original company sold it to private equity. I can only imagine, because now they're scraping every dollar from all of their users. Hence, now on the free version. So, and this is where I can say, because we're talking about money, I thank all of the people who have joined as members, because then I will be able to have some sort of monetization from this sooner rather than later. I do appreciate people who are supporting the channel and supporting the indie author business, whether it's here as channel members or over on Patreon as a patron. And actually, since it's still the first 5 days of the month, I'm still busily working on the patron postcards because it's December and I love doing Christmas cards. I'm actually upgrading everyone to holiday cards. And so you get cards, which are more expensive stamps than the postcard stamps, which I do every month. So just a little thrown out there. If you do want postcard mail, I have channel members at a level for sending bookish postcards every month, or Patreon patrons who get a bookish postcard every month. Either way, it's $5. And that includes international. So if anyone is interested, I have international stamps and can do that. Does OBS cost? I tried Restream and I tried, I think I looked into OBS just at the cost level, and based on the fact that OBS was more complicated from other, like Sam Wicker, more complicated to operate than Restream, I was like, it's not for me. Restream was annoying. I didn't like how it did it. So I just defaulted to the free version. And we do screen shares now instead of layouts. So gross, private equity. Eva's a member. Yay. Elaine says the ad had popcorn. It reminded me I have some. Ads are good for something. Eva's popping her collar. Very nice. Very nice. Look at you moving on up to full cards from postcards. Yeah, December special. I just like boost everyone and have fun with it. Because I am a snail mail writer. It's my thing. Eva says, I used OBS on Twitch, but I don't think I paid anything. If I paid things, oops, I need to cancel it. I think there's a free version and an advanced. So I was doing a cost comparison of everyone's free version and everyone's paid, and whether it was worth relearning or paying more. Yeah, I think there were 3 main contenders. Elaine says over $60 Canadian for StreamYard. Nope, no money coming in, so out of my league. Yeah, same. Yeah, we'll see. Fingers crossed, right? All right, so are we on the second one? The May of the Moderns announcement, and I covered all the things? Yes. All right, so we're on the last video, which is going to be, did anyone see it in advance? Hello. It's a standalone book review of the book Sex Talks by Vanessa and Xander Marin. So in this, I rarely do standalone book reviews. I sort of made an attempt to do them regularly. And now I only really do standalone book reviews when there's too much to cover in a wrap-up. I'm not doing it according to what I think will get attention. Obviously, this one was an attention getter. So I got an arc. I can't remember now because it was quite a while ago. Let me look at my notes here. Sex Talks book review has 1,161 views. So it passes 1,000 barely. And that is my top video ever. It aired on November 19th, 2023. So 2 years ago. It was a live stream and it has over 1,000 views, but 9 comments. And let's see, are the comments from people I know? Emma, Chris, and Rachel. Okay, so yeah, it was sort of comment threads with people I know, not all of those people who viewed it and never came back. I did put timestamps on this one. You can see I was pretty clear. It's a recap, user manual, acknowledgement, connection, desire, pleasure, things I appreciated, not a magic pill, etc., etc. So that would indicate that Mike is correct, that timestamps are helpful. But I think really the reason this got this many views is because of the book's title and cover and the thumbnail. You can't see it here, but the thumbnail is pink and orange, and it's got the book and me and the huge title. So it's very simple and clear that it's about sex. So yeah, it was a live stream, and yeah, clear why it got views. Did it warrant that many views? And my answer to that is, I don't know. I mean, it was an arc, so it was an early post on a new book. It's a salacious subject, so obviously the title caught eyes. I do review lots of nonfiction books about self-improvement and not necessarily relationship topics, but if people are interested in reading about similar subjects, maybe it was too much of a, like the Venn diagram had too little overlap with a general booktube channel. So, yeah, what I would wish is that my list of 10 books or 10 videos would get up this much as well, but people aren't as interested in the things that I am interested in, unfortunately. So I'm going to have to keep trying to get it out to the audience that is me. That is the lesson. Yeah. Eva says, I pay a lot for other things. Yeah. Life is costly. Sex Talks. It was a good book. I thought it was a really good book, and I really like the content creators. So I think I maybe got to be an ARC reader because I follow them on Instagram. I can't remember which came first. Anyway, they're great. They live in Santa Barbara. They had a couple pugs. I think one may have passed away by now because I followed them for like several years. And not being in a relationship and not dating anymore, I haven't watched any of their videos for quite a while, but they're good people. So I like what the message they're broadcasting and wish them well. But in terms of what Eva was saying about indifference, that might not be great if I'm a subscriber, but not a viewer. I hope that I'm not damaging their prospects. Eva said sex talks, and Aaron says sex sells. Yes, apparently it does, or at least views. Gareth says, if you think it will get attention, it doesn't. Haha. So I say just do the book reviews that interest you. Yeah, that's true. It's hard to know. Eva says, let's talk about schmecks, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that get views. Let's talk about schmecks. That's a very terrible version. But thank you. Thank you for that walk down not very old memory lane, since I only heard the actual song like a few years ago. Eva says, have you marketed old content since you put up content as evergreen? Okay, here's the thing. This is why I'm asking the question of the day about organizing, because I have old evergreen content, but like I never market it once it's new. Like obviously you're going to get a boost for being new from your subscribers, and then maybe from the algorithm, but then after that it's just going to disappear unless you know, hey, there's an event coming up where this would be timely or relevant. And I don't have a system for marketing those videos. So that's what I'm interested in hearing more about. Elaine says, true. Some I thought would do well and I worked hard. Slap one together. Does great. Yeah. No accounting for taste. Erin. Hi, Erin, by the way. I've never done a standalone book review. They scare me. I did them early on and didn't think too much about it. And then I started doing wrap-ups because I'm not going to do a review every time I read a book. It seems to elevate it more than it's worth, especially if it's like a 3-star or whatever. And I read pretty quickly. But then someone was like, I think it was a comment someone made about, oh, they do really good book reviews. And I was like, how do you do a really good book review? What's so different? And then they were enumerating the sections and what they pay attention to and organize and prepare. And I thought, oh, am I going to do that? So for a while, maybe it was Rachel that pointed it out. Maybe it's the same era. Anyway, for a while, I had a few elements that I would talk about, like Ven definitely does this. Ven's not here anymore. The plot, the characters, the pacing, sort of like your elements of a book report, perhaps. But now when I do wrap-ups, I tend to condense all that into, star rating, what went well, what didn't work for me. And unless I'm doing an interview about the book, like the buddy read discussion coming up next Monday with Tiffany about Walking with the Wind, which is the civil rights movement memoir by John Lewis. It's a 5-star read for me. So I'm hoping for a really great discussion with Tiffany. Unless I'm doing a buddy read discussion, then I will really prepare like the elements and ask Tiffany and have her ask me questions. I sort of condense it so that it fits into a larger wrap-up. Mike agrees with Gareth. My most successful videos are the ones I liked doing most. And when I followed a theme, e.g. Garb August, they bombed. Blech. Eva says, some clips have been made this day. Are you clipping my videos? Magic. That'll be fun to see if I see them. Who knows? I review every book I read. Jim does. You do the 1-minute book reviews, which do take a lot of preparation. I'm just trying to think like if my process would adapt to that. I'll have to think about that. Salt and Pepper's here. Yep. Eva says, every time my child says he wants to create content, I say he can do book reviews with my oversight to show me he's ready. So far, he's not on board. Fair enough. I like that. Old content, says Aaron, that is edited does sometimes get picked up by Google as if it was fresh. I'm not sure about YouTube. It does. I do SEO for a job, but I don't do any on my channel because it feels like work. Exactly. Exactly. There is the truth. Okay. Add the link for number 1 and then I will be finished. Yes. Thank you for reminding me. Off track. And then I'll be able to stop the screen share. Screen share. And then I will have done them all. Thank you, Julie, our heroine. Eva says, I got him to do one review on camera for an indie book because he had carried this book around and read it and loved it so much. Oh my God. I thought, how cool, right? He gave it 3 stars? Does he know the star system? Hey, maybe 3 stars is the best. That's fine. Mike says to Aaron, you should do a how to optimize videos for booktubers. That might get a lot of views. There you go. It definitely would feel like work. Yeah, I'm more into technical back end of web dev stuff too. Ooh. See, and I won't ask Aaron to do this, but yeah, that's the kind of help I need on my website and why I'm just backing away from it and putting a blinder on. Other books got 1 million stars. It was so cute, but like, lol, oops. Yeah. All right. So we've done all these. You've got the links in the chat from 10 up to 1. And now I'm going to remove that and come back to regular size. Okay. Hold on. I need another drink. And we'll see if we can get through this. You guys have mostly seen these before, so maybe I won't dwell on them for so long. Oh, he was probably 3 then. Oh, okay. So we've gone from lowest to highest. And like I said, it's a pity that I shared some things that were closest to my heart earlier on in my channel history, because that's when I had the smallest audience. But if you guys are curious, there is a playlist with the Proust questionnaire complete with all 30 videos. I just warn you, some of them will be cringy. I'm fine. They're still public. I still own it. It's fine. And then what's worked for me, to summarize, you can clip this, Eva. What's worked for me for views is hosting a readathon, participating in a big readathon, a single book review, and an outdated channel trailer. So I'm not sure what lessons to draw from that. I don't have a good idea for another readathon to host quite yet. And my original tags didn't do much. So that is what I have learned from my own history. Here's the last thing that I wanted to share. The videos that I wish had more views and that I think deserve more views because they're very close to my heart. And I have an audience now. I have over 1,000 people. So first of all, you're going to be very familiar with this one. And these ones I did before with labels. So Julie, you can relax now. You don't have to track these. The Agitation August playlist. So I did highlight reels at the end for little bits because, you know, we did 16 interviews and book discussions, which is a lot. And if people weren't sure if they were going to be interested in a certain book or discussion, I wanted to do some reels to say, oh, this is a trailer for this one. If you like this channel and thought this was good, go find that video. And they bombed. So no one was interested after the readathon, which is fair, but the playlist has all the discussions and the highlight reels. So if you wanted to share those, I would not take it amiss. So there's the link for that. The next one, I have 4 playlists here for you guys. And then I have 6 videos, just so you know what's coming. The next one is a playlist. It's the Good Fight Fridays playlist. So this is something that I did last year. This is the end of 2024 when I was releasing Orla Rafferty Seeks Her Fortune. It was a common theme that we want to read about fiction where people are fighting the good fight. They don't always win. It's not always clear. It's just about the struggle because I really felt I was in the thick of it, man. I needed to hear about people who were still in the trenches fighting the good fight. And so I interviewed people who I thought were doing that, and we talked about their cause, and it was a range of causes. So that's just 6 interviews I did throughout the autumn of 2024. I was going to pop these up for timestamping purposes, and I have already fallen behind. So let's go back and make sure I'm caught up. Eva says, to repeat content. That's the way content creators survive. Remake it, repeat it, new twists on old content, combine it in new ways. Who cares? The only time that I have found this to work, that I've done it, I haven't done it and it's bombed, but the only time I have actually done this was my idea for the AWC, in which we had a popcorn party, and it was 3 of us co-hosts, Devin and Shannon and I, and we would watch an old video and have that person on, because it was like a highlight. It was like a movie, like a watch party. And so we would watch their AWC presentation, and we would stop it like a wait stop, like Crooked Media does. And then we would discuss what we thought about the point they just made and how good it was, or like where we had seen it work. And then we concluded the presentation with the sort of like MST3K treatment, and then bring the guest on at the end for like just a little chatter about maybe why they did the presentation. And I thought that worked really well. Not as much work, using stuff that is already out there, highlighting the creator, so we're not just stealing work, and keeping it on topic. So that's when I have found it all came together. I haven't found that way for my own content, but if you've got advice, let me know. I think that's a follow-on. Nothing is already posted unless the algorithm says so. Okay, so we've got the Agitation August link. Elaine says, my new content going forward will be a series about books, starting with vampires through literature and history, and reading on Friday. We'll see what the new year brings. Good plan. Gara says, the videos mean a lot to us, so we want them all to do well. I can relate. Yeah. Eva says, you're not talking to the regulars. You're talking to someone who found out they could find people like you on YouTube just today. Good point. Yeah, your insight about the live stream audience and the team rewatch audience is duly noted. Gareth says, Agitation August was amazing. Thank you. Gareth was one of the guests, so he's on the playlist. And I also include on that playlist people that made videos of their own on their channels about the books that we were reading. So if they were talking about those books in a wrap-up, I included it because I want people to see those videos. It's part of the readathon. I'm trying to be inclusive. Trying. There's the Good Fight Fridays playlist link. It was a great event. Elaine was a guest. She was on there, and we just talked about it on her channel. She just talked about it on her channel recently. Elaine says, I include playlists in my videos. That way viewers can see more of the same type of content if they're interested. Yeah, we do that on the end screens. Did you mean in an additional way? Vlogs from Bean's POV with humor and book focus would be something I'd love. Answering the title. Oh, yeah. What do you love? He's moved, by the way. Cat Cam is now on the bed. He was pouncing around for a while, and now he's quieted. So just so you know, like I had to ignore him. But he's a cutie. He's a definite cutie. That is an interesting idea too. I'm starring Eva's comments here right and left. I don't know if I can keep up with all these insights, Eva. Greg says, I do not know what AWC stands for, AuthorTube Writing Conference. And I was a host up until last year. And it was a big lift effort on the part of ST Houston, who organized. And basically, it's authors who publish and have books and have channels. And so we would do presentations about various aspects of being an author on YouTube, educational, tutorial, community-oriented, lots of great stuff. And several of the people in the chat have participated, volunteered, given presentations. So that is just one of the things that was on the AuthorTube side. Eva says, like, he's your roommate and his entire show is judging you. Okay, I'm sorry that. Oh boy. Elaine says, during the videos, not on the end screen. So you share the screen of a playlist, or you just talk about it and give the link? Gareth says, Chris from Liminal Spaces said in a live stream that his videos tank in the winter. That is a generally accepted fact. That was curious. I never knew that was a thing. Winter starting January. So I think the common knowledge is that November and December, when you can advertise for holiday shopping, are the most lucrative times, meaning ads pay the most cost per click or whatever. And so that's when a lot of content gets pushed out. So maybe that means that people aren't viewing as much content because there's more to choose from and there's only so many hours in the day. But that's when people will try to make more content. Vlogmas, Bookmas, that's sort of why it's a thing. But definitely after Christmas, New Year, January, February, March, you have to climb back up. And I've watched people who actually do videos on the analytics and the monetization, and that's definitely a thing. And Eva has snapped into her role as AWC promoter and angel with a link to their website as well. Erin says, I had a video do very well on Thanksgiving, and I suspect it is because everyone is on holiday in the US. I watch loads at Christmas. Yeah. Book In with Deborah was just explaining how she's excited to do her Radio Times Christmas, or however the order may be wrong, because you just sit down and get cozy and just watch stuff. So I love when people have the choice and go with videos instead of Hallmark movies. I'm winking at my sister Kathy there, who's a Hallmark movie viewer. Elaine says, no blink above as video plays. Many pop in a card and point up. I'm not sure if it's working, but my lists are getting views. So, oh, okay. So you have a view here. Gotcha. So you do a live stream and then you put a card in. I do that sometimes. Sometimes I look and I can't find where I popped my hand up. The live streams get too long, y'all. I can't watch myself all the way through, even at 2x speed. Thumbnail with your body from behind as you lean to get a book. That's a butt shot. That's not flattering for anybody. No. No, thank you. Oh, man. All right, so let me take this down. Just general questions, if anyone has any for the last bit. My third playlist is going to be the Climathon playlist. So this has 19 videos. And Climathon is what I'll be doing a wrap up of on Friday. So this year, Tasman and Anya and I were the 3 co-hosts for Climathon. Tasman sort of got derailed and only had a few videos before her channel went silent. Anya sort of did the same thing. She's been out of touch, and her view is that she really doesn't want to be on screen anymore. So she didn't want to be on screen when I invited her on for a discussion about Climathon. So really, I feel like I've been the only one to put out any content for Climathon. I did it every month. I talked about loads of books. And so I will be wrapping up my experience of Climathon as a co-host this Friday, December 5th. So that playlist is going to give you a bunch of different book reviews about climate, nonfiction, about science, about nature memoirs. There's a lot of stuff, politics, that involves the climate crisis and how I and others are dealing with it. And there were some really great reads this year. Some I even gave standalone book reviews. So I will have to dig those out when I prepare for Friday, but I don't have them yet. So I'll refer you to that list and it will grow by Friday for sure. So there we go. Do all body shapes work for the algorithm? That will be the question. This is true. People like butts. I do not, however. I am not that person. Elaine says, I can loan you my mermaid blanket. Aw. What about P-tube? Because right now we have litter box action happening at my feet because I'm all in one room at my parents' for Christmas. Can you hear the soundtrack of my life with Bean? The mermaid fins do very well, says Even. Or flippers. Yeah. Fins, I think. Tails, fins, whatever. Fecal Euphoria, folks. Hey, hey. Do not go under the covers with that shit. Thank you. Gareth has a mermaid costume he can loan. Excellent. And I'm just saying at this point, but I think this crowd gets that, which is fun. Appreciate you all. Yeah, very nice. Okay, Climathon. And for my last readathon, this is actually a look forward as well. Okay, he's going crazy again with the Fecal Euphoria. Hey, chill. Can we chill, please? This one. Oh, I missed some chat. Unrelated, but my copy of Beekeeper's Apprentice arrived yesterday. Such a good series. I hope you love it. If you haven't read it yet, I hope you love it. It's so good. Laurie R. King, The Beekeeper's Apprentice for the Holmes and Russell series. Pink and turquoise. What color is yours? See-through. Oh dear. Being as a merfolk. Okay, we're getting a little off track here. I'm going to try to like aim us back at my final playlist that I wish had more views. The BAT Readathon. Sorry about the allergies, everyone. Okay. I think Eva has participated in this. I know Beth Ann has because she's the latest video and she's the one that's at the top of the playlist at the moment. This stands for Black Author Tuber Readathon, in which, because I know the reality of the algorithm that it depresses content by Black creators unless it's about drama, I want to support my fellow author tubers that are Black and trying to, make a little room for themselves on this platform. And so we do a big spreadsheet where we have a lot of books written by Black authors on YouTube. If they have a channel, if it's live, you're qualifying. And we can do buddy reads for those books. We can post reviews for those books that are positive and encouraging and help give their name some juice, right? We're trying to boost their profile because it's not fair that their community has been marginalized by the publishing industry for one and by the bro oligarchy for another. So this is my little low-key lift for February because it's Black History Month in the US. They often have books coming out in that month to try to get as much juice as they can. And so this is my support where I'm just trying to support, boost signal, and get people excited about indie author books mostly, but also some traditional published Black authors are on YouTube. So we like to encourage that because it's a great community. So Black Author Tuber Readathon. I did have 22, 23, 24, 23. I did have the first 3 years and a separate for 2025 this year. I have now combined the last 4 years of this readathon into one playlist, which is this link. And I will be doing 2026 separate and then combining when it's a backlist. So very excited for that. My friend Tracy Momi may be on, Tiffany may be on, all these people who have books coming out and they're good. They're romance, they're mystery, they're horror, they're nonfiction, whatever genres, you can find a Black author tuber writing it. So if you've got books that that are not on the spreadsheet, let me know, add it yourself. It's open. So if you want to participate, I encourage it. Greg says, and here I am being on my best behavior while others talk about butts and fecal euphoria. Hey, mature audiences is not, well, Eva's towing, she's smudging the line there, but fecal euphoria is a scientific term. It's fine. You're such a good role model. Great name for a band. Hey, don't let me stop you. Fecal Dystopia, current nickname for society. Not wrong. 2 minutes on books, small channel, and highlights many Black authors. Did I miss a link? Did you post a link and it didn't show up? I'm not sure what you're referring to here. Eva says, I did read off of the spreadsheet 1 year, but I wouldn't say I participated. That one book was the only read for a stretch of time, if I recall. Maybe. I've read a few of Tiffany's by now, even though she makes me go to Kindle to do it. She's one of the people who make it worth my while. I will just say that. But yeah, we have like dozens of Black author tubers on the spreadsheet, and, you know, you can go find their channel and then find all their books. So, you know, it's a little work, but I think it's fine. It's fine. We can do a little work to support our friends. Okay, so those are my 4 playlists that I wish had more views and I think deserve more views. And then here are my 6 videos that I'll just pop out here because we're past the shame of self-promotion. We are gliding right past it, ice skating on the frozen surface of it. So this first one is an oldie. The video production is nil, but this is really one of those ones where I got really personal. It's how identity and ethnic background affects my writing. So I talked about historical fiction. I talked about the pieces that make up me. I think I talked a little bit about the Native American thing that is no longer a thing. It was a really interesting one. And I think like wrote a journal before I talked about it because I didn't want to get it wrong for the audience. Maybe it's cringy now. I didn't go back and watch the whole video, but it's still public. Oh, it's a channel. 2 minutes on books. It is a small channel. Okay, great. It's the syntax. I didn't get it. Thank you, Eva. 2 minutes on books is a channel, and there is Eva sharing the link. Thank you. Thank you. And I subscribed. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, good. Someone understood when I did not. So that was AuthorTube backstory or lore kind of video. Number 2 video would be a standalone book review. That is a mystery series many of you have heard me talk about. It's the Messenger of Truth book review by Jacqueline Winspear. I have one more book in this series to read, and I'm holding off reading it because I don't really want to finish the series. And also because I said I'd read it with Sonia at Enthusiastic Reader, and she had just hasn't come to it yet. She said other things and like has been way behind on books, which is fine because I don't really want to read it. I kind of want there always to be another Maisie Dobbs because they're so good, so comforting, so emotionally mature and intellectually stimulating and setting perfect. Maisie Dobbs is someone who has lived through World War I and has had most of her career in the interwar period and has just gotten into World War II at the ending of the series. So that is the backdrop. It is excellently written. I've met the author a couple times, and this is my favorite in the series so far. I don't think any of them has gotten above this. This is book number 4, I think. And they just treat different topics of British society in this time period just really excellently. Kara says, I was going to ask you about your influences next time you were on our live show. Oh, yeah, influences is hard because you guys have music and books and comics and, you know, like politicians. One of the videos that was on my flops list was involved a politician, let's say. So if anyone goes to see that one, they'll know who I'm talking about. I'll definitely watch that. Excellent. There was that author recently who discussed her had no Indigenous roots after writing for years about it. Interesting. I think this is the Thomas King headline, which a few of us on Booktube have talked about. I know that Bouquins and Books just posted a video about it, and I haven't watched it yet, but it's on my watch later list. Elaine says, has been fun. I gotta scoot and do some adulting. Thank you, Elaine. Big hugs and take care. Okay, so 3 more videos. Video number 4 is, I thought this was a really clever title, and it had Taylor Swift on the thumbnail. So that was my effort to like feed the algorithm, right? Didn't do really well. I called it my Histfic Bookshelf Eras Tour because number 1, bookshelf tours are a huge thing, but like, I don't understand why they're so successful when it's just people rambling and showing their shelves and often like shaky camera, which is what it would be for me. But combining it with the Eras Tour, because that's what was happening with Taylor Swift, because that was really fun. So like I combined the 2, and it was just my historical fiction shelves, and it was eras because I organized my historical fiction by era because I'm that much of a nerd. So I had everything 16, like pre-1700, and then I had 18th and 19th century, I think, together, and then I had 20th century. And so I went through all my historical fiction by era. It was an eras tour. I don't understand why that didn't blow up. Maybe I should change the thumbnail. Oh man, but it was fun. So that is that one. So for the link. Erin says, I've only read the first Maisie Dobbs. I need to get the next one. It was really good, right? It packed a lot into that first one because we get her backstory along with the present mystery. I think she did a really good job with that one too. Yeah, good series. Greg says, my video on St. Andrew's Day came out late Sunday, which was St. Andrew's Day. And out of everything I've put on Booktube, this is the one I wish would go viral. Very cool. I thought it was really good. I'm trying to remember because I've watched a lot of videos very quickly in the past week because I've had to catch up. But I know I definitely watched that one and left a comment. Eva says, I'm going to do library shelf content at some point, but haven't figured out how. It's just a mess in there, so probably cleaning. Your cleaning content on TikTok is really fun. You know how to do that really well. Yeah, I just think filming my bookshelves would be boring, but I don't understand how they go viral. Not viral. I don't understand how they do well on other people's channels. I've watched them and I just don't get like what element is drawing people in. That's why I haven't pulled the trigger on it. I did this one as an experiment and I thought I had a really great title, but no. All right, so here's another oldie, and this might interest Gareth as well. I did an author backstory, and it was how music and song work in my historical fiction. So I have poems, I have oral tradition things, I have music that I don't know the tune to because I can't read music or it's not listed in the book. And I use that as source material for cultural elements in my historical fiction for the Remnant series. And so I talked about the sources and what I used and how I transformed it and adapted it in my series. So music and song in historical fiction. Bye, Julie. Thank you. Must say farewell for now. Looking forward to the rewatch with all the links. Excellent. And just remember that it takes 24 hours for the chat to process. So if it's not in the description below, just wait 24 hours before you try to show chat replay and it'll be there. Eva says, people are nosy. Yes, they are. And there's the link. Curiosity lures them in. Mike says, I think people like to see your books to recognize ones they like. Ah, okay. So if you see the shelves, you would need to do a really slow pan. Okay. That's a good insight. I will star that one, and I'm going to have to come back to this studio. So yeah, starring this. Too many good comments. I'll have to like come back and execute. Yeah, I watch them because I'm nosy. Laura, concurring. Definitely need to watch that one too. Yeah, right? I mean, but this is from 2020, 2021, like a long time ago. Old folk music has taught us a lot about history. No joke. Fact, right? That is what I love it. I love it. I love it. I'll definitely watch the music, song, and historical fiction. Sounds fascinating. Oh, thank you. Okay. Excellent. We're spreading the word. This is me diving into, the old videos, and they're not organized, but I'm just reaching in and pulling out from the bag. Greg says, I have one shelf tour video of my Robert Louis Stevenson collection, and it's one of my least watched. Okay. I'm going to ask you to put bookshelf in the title and then hashtag it in the first line of the description and then see if that does anything. That's the optimizations that I can recommend. And maybe put it in the tags in the show more in the edit details. Show more. There's a field for tags. Put bookshelf a few times in a few ways. Medieval lyrics. Okay. Eva says, you don't just walk around bookstores or libraries to absorb the vibes, the atmosphere, the what ifs, and the what could be's. That would be nice. I do that. But filming it kind of takes the wonder out of it. That's what bookshelf content is like in 2025. People do that in vlogs. I think you have to vlog so much that it no longer feels artificial, and I am not at that point, which is fine. Like if someone posts a pic of their bookshelf on Twitter or Instagram, I always blow it up and look at what they have. That is nosy par excellence. I love it. Erin says, I can't do a shelf tour because I move all my books around all the time. How do you organize? How do you find them then? Oh my gosh, this is making me crazy. Eva says, do it for those who can't be in Portland or Northern Cali. Or that can't travel. The furthest west I've been is Vegas. Oh, you mean for a bookstore or a library? You know, I remember I went by my branch library, which is now closed forever. It moved a few blocks, and so they're going to abandon the building. I did a video, I did a slow pan of the outside because their display was all books about heat and global climate change. I was like, that's so good, but I haven't figured out where to put it in. If I can find it in my photos library, I might use it for the Climathon wrap-up. There's an idea. Pet into the litter box. Okay, so library footage Climathon wrap-up. Oh man, this is gonna be a bear to timestamp. I didn't plan this very well. That's a good idea though, so thank you for that. Mike says, I'm about to go on vacation and sort out my mountain of books. Perhaps I'll film it. Yeah, you never know. I think the trick is filming it so that you have enough possibilities of editing it in a way that makes it feel intimate, actiony, visible. You know, I don't have that trick yet. Erin says, there's no organization really. I've recently moved some things near each other. Whew, Chaos Gremlin. Shout out to Kat and Jenny. Eva says, as far as the vlogging goes, you worry about your shelf being boring, and it may be. You're what makes it interesting. That's true of everything except Bean. He's a natural star. Yeah, he really is. He's just stealing the limelight going in the litter box. Is SLO considered Northern California? It is not. It is Southern California. I am in Sacramento currently. The algorithm claims authenticity because, and jot this down, viewers crave it too. Not particularly verifiable, Eva. I don't think it translates past the 2 layers. I'm just saying. Claims. I meant crave. Yeah, I got you. Okay, 2 more videos. How do you define home? Okay, and this for the Scots, which I'm sure are no longer viewing, the Scottishness thing. For those of you who are not into Scotland, you may not be aware, there's this big divide where Scottish people are like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're not Scottish, you're American. And they really don't like Americans coming over and seeking their roots and homeland. They're just really tired of it because Americans have not been from Scotland for 200 years. And so there's this weird like claiming of history that they resent, and which I can relate to. That makes sense. Like, you're not a Scottish person, but for those of us over here who did not have a people from here, are not indigenous to the Americas, there's some sense of identity that we need to root. And so I get at this in my historical fiction because I think a lot of people who are forced from their homelands or who have to choose for economic reasons to leave their homelands lose this rooted feeling. And so there's this yearning for it. And even if you don't want to call yourself a Scot, there's this feeling that you belong somewhere and that you recognize something in the cultural traditions. And there's something that's passed down genealogically that resonates. And so here I talked a little bit about home and what I put into the fiction and what I feel in myself. And again, this is something really close to my heart that I find little bits of in different books, but never addressed in one place until that video. And it's not very widely known because I think it's from 2022, you know? So that is a really fascinating subject. and I'd love to talk more about it, but you know, old video. So I need to find a way to recycle this, watch party, popcorn, something. So there's that. And then the final video that I would recommend, that I would think deserves more views to get out there. But let me catch up here. Eva says, can someone fake something enough to produce content consistently and not be that thing enough for authenticity for their viewers? Another question for another time. Yeah. This is an interesting discussion, but we're at hour 2, so I think we need to wrap up. Mike says, my ancestry is 50-50 Scottish, Irish as a South African citizen, right? And I don't know what the British Empire does with South Africa. I think they're pretty, are you in the Commonwealth? I don't know. I don't know about those relationships at this point, but yeah. If people look at your life experience and hear your accent and and then you say your ancestry calls you to do this or buy a home in a place where it's really hard to afford a home. There's sort of these things that are really important to recognize in terms of, differences of experiences and claiming. So I'm sensitive to that and just wanted to put it out there and talk about it with people. Aaron says, Americans never seem to claim their English ancestry. We are too evil and or smelly. I don't know. I know people who, one of my good friends in high school wanted to visit Barnard Castle, which I think is in Yorkshire somewhere. And that's English. So the borderlands. Mike says, 100% agree that heritage is in your DNA wherever you live. Yeah, it filters in somehow. So you like something more than another. Like I'm never going to be comfortable in a dry desert area. I'm never going to be comfortable in a tropical heat. Like our good friend JD lives in Puerto Rico. Like I'm going to be dragon. But you put me in a forest where there's mist and mountains and hills and it's a cool climate. I excel. Greg says, most of us in America who are not indigenous, I think, feel rootless. My ancestors came to Idaho in 1869, which is pretty recent for an American. Yeah, true. Aaron says, my ancestors are all from Colchester, back to the first census. 10, when's the Doomsday Book? 44? No, that's the invasion. When's the Doomsday Book? I forget, 1200 maybe. Sorry. No one has ever bothered moving until me. That's amazing. That's really amazing, Aaron. That's cool. Do a video about that. That's fun. Greg says, my earliest ancestors in America came in the 17th century. So again, fairly recent compared to the peoples of Europe. And Eva says, as someone without roots, I've never been called to anywhere. Yeah. Well, interesting. Well, yeah. Again, I think it's lived experiences and like how settled you feel, how comfortable you feel, and how your lived experience has either pushed you to search something out or pushed you to make where you live work. Maybe. I don't know. I guess, Eva, where do you feel most at home? Like, oh, this is my roots. Ugh. All right, Gareth says, I lived most of my life thinking I was biologically Welsh because of my parents and grandparents, but a DNA test came up mostly Scandinavian. Isn't that crazy? Welsh. Yeah, I wouldn't expect Viking Raiders to be on the West Coast. Interesting. But I've always lived in England, so I feel 100% English. Yeah, I won't say your last name. Cat Paw says, my internet is lagging. I do find it odd when Americans claiming to be XYZ when they never have been there, speak the language, know zero about the culture. Yeah, some people do that, and I think it's very insensitive and a little presumptuous. I'll just say that, but I'm in an adjacent pile of people that like feels like they don't belong here and is sensitive to indigenous claims to the land, and then have this mixed relationship with trying to claim I can't think of the word. It's not synchronicity. It's not heritage. It's like closeness, some type of closeness to a land and a people that is not their experience. It's weird. It's weird. Aaron to Gareth, what about your love of ABBA and pickled herring? I mean, it's there. Cat Paw says, rootless people unite. There we go. I've always lived in the States, but I've moved house a lot, city a lot, state a few times. No present extended fam, very few present fam at all, and trauma. Yeah, that's why I'm trying to think, like, what is it? Where is the feeling of home for you? It'd be an interesting discussion. And when you read about people and their experiences of home in fiction, like, what does that bring up? That'd be good discussion. Pickled herring sounds nice. Leafy veggies instead of root veggies. Are we making a pun about roots and veggies? I'm missing it here. Catpaw says you've been to Scotland and all the rest. You're okay. I mean, some of that is privilege, though. People could feel drawn to different places and stories, and do research and like learn language, but like not have the means to go. And so there's that level. Like there's all these different interlocking pieces that I think deserve consideration, is what I'm saying. Rootless, yeah. And someone was just talking about toothless. The axolotl. That was on the Daily Beans today. I'm going back. Here's the final video that I wish people would watch that I'm very proud of, that has not surfaced again ever. And I think I've referred to it a couple of times, but I don't think people have gone back to watch it. And this is when, because I was part of A Mighty Blaze, I got these two big time historical fiction authors on, and I've read both of their books and I love both of their works. And they were fantastic guests. They were funny, they were witty, they were big nerds. And so that is Susanna Kearsley and Vanessa Riley. And they're both still writing. And Susanna is Canadian and Vanessa is American. And we just had a great old time talking historical fiction rabbit holes in this interview. And so, yeah, it was really neat. I felt like I had made it when I had them on the channel and got to talk to them. So it was really nice. It was a good time. It was a good time. And I think that was 2023. So, yeah. Yeah, not everyone has a home in the way you envision it. True. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like our yearnings may be different, our definitions may be different, and our comfort may find a different place or expression, It's true. But I think the home, yeah, I just want to talk about it more because like there are so many different interlocking pieces that make it hard to generalize. That's what I'm trying to convey. Yeah. Envy from Cat Paw, speaking for myself, and sadness. I don't know what we're all responding in one words to. Rootless, envy, sadness. I'm not sure. I'm sorry. I'm not sure what it's a response to. Eva says, like, if I were to go home again, I'd ask, do you mean where I went to high school, where I first lived as an adult, where my family is, where I live together? Yeah. And my question is, like, where did you most feel like home? Or is it the home you've made with your family? Because then when you get in discussion about found family, which is it's like a whole nother layer. So I was a baby tuber when I was making this home video. So it's just my things and like some very tentative threads out. So it might be cringy. I don't know. I haven't looked at it. Aaron says, I've never been to Scotland or Ireland. Quite lazy, really. I might do the Loch Ness Marathon, though. Oh, that sounds cool. I love the depth of a conversation of home and family and stuff. That's another very long live. Yeah, it is. If I did that now, I think I would have to prepare loads. Yeah. Rootless was the veggie. Okay, gotcha. It's a pun. Right now is where I feel like home. Yeah. Yeah, I get that. But that was true a year ago and 10 years ago and 20 years ago. So you're very adaptable is what I'm understanding from that. Yeah. Oop. Okay, just a tree, not a bird. Didn't want a bird to run into my window. Oh my goodness. Over 2 hours, guys. I did not expect that. So we will leave current reads for another day. And I will say, thank you for joining. I'm going to have fun time stamping this one. You guys were here the whole time. I salute you. Crazy, crazy props. Thank you. And it is December, so lots going on. I know everyone's going to be busy and feel a little pressure. So just remember to take some time for you. Take care of yourself. Take my appreciation with you today. And thanks for watching. Leave an emoji if you want. There's the book tag coming out. And remember to diversify your reading list. Remember to take care, everyone. Yeah. Okay. So the home, we have no choice but to adapt. Yeah. Great with adapting to the long live. Funny. Fun chats and books and videos and stats. Yeah, the stats were the hard part. Great chat, guys. Thanks a lot. Big hugs, everybody. And as I said, I'm not tagging anyone in this because I forgot that part. So this is my one chance to say, consider yourself tagged. And choose your own adventure. Thanks, everybody, and have a great week. I'll see you either on Friday for the Climathon wrap-up or Monday with the discussion of Walking with the Wind with Tiff. So take care, everyone. Be safe out there.